All right, Wednesday morning, folks, and you know what that means. Time to dive into the latest Celtic news with a bit of that midweek bounce. Let's get right into it, because there's quite a bit to chew over, starting with a moment that caught my attention more by accident than anything else. So earlier today, while I was prepping this video and just letting some football run in the background, I noticed Canada were playing El Salvador. And since I happened to have access to the game, I kept one eye on it. And good thing I did, because it turned out to be one of those strange little matches that give you more talking points than you'd expect. Canada came out on top 20, but the real story is what happened before the scoreboard even got interesting. El Salvador had the players sent off in the first half, and not just soft reds either. The second red card in particular was for elbowing Alistair Johnston off the ball, a straight red, no hesitation from the referee. You could see right away it was intentional, a bit of a moment of madness. And I know what you're thinking, that must have hurt, and yes, it did look rough. But Johnston, to his credit, got up and carried on. No signs of injury or anything long-term, which is good news for everyone at Celtic, obviously. Now, when a team goes down to 9 men, you'd expect the opposition to absolutely run riot. And to be honest, I think even with 11 against 11, Canada were favorites. But after those two reds, it was total domination. Still, interestingly enough, Canada only managed to score 2 goals. They came in quick succession. Bang bang, and right after the second goal, Johnston was subbed off around the 56th minute. You could tell the match had kind of lost its edge by then, a bit of a training ground feel to it. But one thing I did notice was Johnston playing higher up the pitch, more as a right winger than his usual right back role. Makes sense, really, considering Canada had such numerical advantage. They could afford to push players into more adventurous roles. So although we didn't get to see Johnston doing much defensively, there wasn't exactly a whole lot of defending to do, it was still useful to see him adapt and slot into that advanced position. It's always good to know your players are flexible and can take on different roles when needed. That might come in handy during the season, especially in Europe, where tactical versatility can make a big difference. And again, no injuries, no scares post-match, so we can all breathe easy on that front. But that little international detour aside, the main focus is now shifting back to club matters. We're officially less than 2 weeks away from Celtic returning to action. The squad is expected back in training early next week, possibly as early as Monday or Tuesday. Preseason proper kicks off with a friendly against Queen's Park next Friday, so just 9 days from now we'll be watching Celtic back on the pitch again. Always a bit of a buzz about the first game, even if it's just a friendly. It marks the beginning of the new chapter, and everyone starts with a clean slate. Now, before anyone gets too excited, it's unlikely we'll see the full first team out there for that match. Players like Johnston, who've been away on international duty, will probably be given a bit more time off. Same goes for guys like Kasper Schmeichel and maybe even Kieran Tierney. These lads need proper recovery after international action, so don't expect them to feature immediately. But still, we'll have a decent squad out there to get things rolling. The club has also filled in some of the remaining blanks on the preseason schedule. We already knew about Queen's Park next Friday. Then there's a match against Cork City on the following Tuesday, played at Percúi Shawham in Ireland, which will be a nice homecoming vibe for some of the Irish lads. After that, there's a closed-door match scheduled in Portugal on Saturday the 12th of July against Estrela da Amadora. Now, I'll be honest, I hadn't heard of them before, but they're a top-flight Portuguese side, finished 15th last season, just avoided relegation. So it should be a decent enough test considering it's part of the build-up. Then we've got the big names. Sporting Lisbon is next, and that one's set for a 7:30 kickoff on Wednesday the 16th of July. Facing a team of that caliber is exactly what we need at this stage. A proper European challenge to see where we stand. Following that, there's the Newcastle United friendly on Saturday the 19th, 3 o'clock at Celtic Park. That one should be tasty. Premier League opposition, full crowd, proper match day feel. And then it's off to Italy for the Como Cup, where we'll face Ajax first. That's set for Thursday the 24th of July, 7:30 kickoff Celtic Park time, which is 8:30 over in Italy. And depending on how that match goes, we'll either be in the final or playing for third place that weekend. Finals on the Sunday at 7 o'clock local time, and all matches in the tournament are being played at Stadio Giuseppe Sinigaglia. Nice little ground with a bit of history to it. What's really interesting about this preseason setup is that Celtic are set to face 3 teams already qualified for the Champions League group stages: Newcastle, Sporting, and Ajax. That's a level of competition you don't often get in friendlies, and it should help raise the standard for everyone involved. The idea is to get the squad up to full speed before that all-important Champions League qualifier. And on paper, this schedule looks like it could really do the trick. So yeah, that's the rundown of where things are heading. Still plenty to unpack. But one name that's just officially joined the squad is Ross Doohan. The club announced his return yesterday, and it wasn't just a quiet signing either. Full presentation, new signing treatment, all of it. He even gave a few words about how the move came about, which offered a bit of insight into the process. Turns out it was Stevie Woods who reached out first. Doohan said he just got a message asking if he was free to talk. They had a quick chat, and before Woods even finished asking the question, Doohan had already said yes. That's how eager he was to come back. He was also very realistic about what this move means. He's almost certainly coming in as third-choice goalkeeper behind Schmeichel and Benjamin Siegrist. But he's buzzing about the opportunity. Said he's ready to work hard, learn from the experienced keepers, and try to push himself into contention. That kind of attitude is exactly what you want from your squad players. And let's not forget, he recently made his debut for Scotland. And while the national team aren't exactly overflowing with top-tier keepers at the moment, there's a chance Doohan could work his way up if he continues to develop. Now, realistically, third-choice keepers don't see much game time. He might not play a single competitive minute this season, but don't underestimate the role. Just ask Scott Bain. He's been a vital part of the dressing room over the years, even when not playing. The goalkeeping unit tends to be quite close-knit. It's usually just the goalies and Woods working together in training, so chemistry and morale matter a lot. Having someone with the right personality and attitude can go a long way even if he's not on the pitch. Alright, let's keep it going because there's more to dive into, and next up is an interesting bit of internal movement at the club. About a week ago, Darren O'Day left Celtic to take on a new role at Swansea City, where he's now the assistant head coach. That departure left a gap in the position of professional player pathway manager, and yes, that's a bit of a mouthful. But it's a role that's grown in importance, especially for a club like Celtic that's keen on developing talent from within. Now, just to remind you what that job actually entails, the person in that role reports to the head of the youth academy and works closely with Brendan Rodgers, the academy coaching staff, and the B team. Their main focus is making sure young players have a proper pathway from the academy into the first team, while also managing loan opportunities and maintaining strong ties with other clubs. Basically, it's about guiding the next generation and ensuring they're ready to step up when the time comes. When O'Day left, I had thrown out Charlie Mulgrew's name as a potential successor. There were a few voices in the comments talking about the whole jobs for the boys angle, which I get. Ideally, you want the best candidate, not just someone with a Celtic connection. But for this specific role, I do think having that deep understanding of what it means to come through the Celtic system is vital. The pressure, the expectations, it's not like any other club. You need someone who's lived it. That brings us to the update, and it looks like Sean Maloney is the man in line to take over. According to reports, he's the front runner, and there's reason to believe it's pretty much a done deal. Maloney knows the club well. He was in charge of our under-20s during Brendan Rodgers' first spell at Celtic, and the two have spoken highly of each other over the years. There's clearly a solid relationship there, which should help smooth the transition. As a player, Maloney had bags of experience. Came through the ranks at Celtic, played for Aston Villa, spent time in the MLS with Chicago Fire, and had a stint at Wigan as well. Since retiring, he's been involved in coaching with the Belgium national team under Roberto Martinez, and also had managerial roles at Hibs and Wigan Athletic. Those jobs didn't quite work out, but he's not being brought in to manage a squad here. His job is to guide the development process and help the next crop of players make the leap. Given his history, his connection with the current coaching setup, and the fact that he's come through the Celtic Academy himself to become a first-team regular, he seems like a strong fit for this particular position. It's about mentoring, about understanding what these young lads are going through, and being able to offer the kind of advice and support that only someone who's been there can give. So Maloney stepping into that role makes a lot of sense, and hopefully it brings continued success in promoting talent from within. And before we wrap up, yes, I know some of you have been wondering when I'd get to transfer talk. It wouldn't be a Celtic update without it, right? The latest is on Michelangelo Balikwisha, the Royal Antwerp winger we've been linked with for a while now. The Belgian journalist Sacha Tavalieri, think of him as Belgium's version of Fabrizio Romano, has come out with an update. He says Celtic haven't forgotten about Balikwisha. Talks haven't broken down, but internal factors within the club have slowed things a bit. Apparently both the player and Celtic are still interested in making it happen. But the fee's the sticking point. Royal Antwerp are asking for €6 million, which seems steep considering Balikwisha is out of contract in 12 months. From a Celtic point of view, it's understandable to hesitate. Why pay that much now, when you could sign him on a pre-contract in 6 months' time? There's also the matter of his injury record. He's had a few significant injuries over the past couple of years and missed a lot of matches. That kind of history always raises questions, especially when you're looking for someone who can come in and make an immediate impact. I don't know the full details yet, but if we do go ahead and make the signing, we'll dig deeper into whether those injuries are behind him or if there's still risk involved. It's one of those situations where if there's too much uncertainty, the club might be better off looking elsewhere. We need someone reliable in that position, especially with Jota gone, and uncertainty over where Doohan Maeda will be used next season. So that's where things stand. Internal changes, a new face in the keeper ranks, a solid-looking preseason on the horizon, and transfer talk that's heating up again. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. There's a fresh whisper making its way through the cobbled closes of Glasgow, and it's got the green and white faithful chattering. Word on the street, and increasingly in the corridors of Lennox Town, is that Japanese midfielder HAYATO INAMURA has put pen to paper on a 4-year deal with Celtic. You read that right. The 24-year-old sensation from Yokohama, long rumored to be on the radar of several European clubs, is said to have chosen Paradise as his next home. While the club remains tight-lipped for now, sources close to the deal hint that negotiations were wrapped up with remarkable swiftness, suggesting that both parties were eager to make it happen. INAMURA, known for his tireless engine, crisp passing, and knack for unlocking defenses, could be just the injection of creativity Brendan Rodgers has been seeking in the middle of the park. His arrival, should the rumor prove true, might even be the beginning of another wave of Japanese talent arriving at Parkhead. Fans will remember the roaring success of Kyogo Furuhashi and Ryo Haddad, who not only brought flair and finesse but also quickly became Terrace favorites. If INAMURA follows in those footsteps, he could well etch his name into the annals of the club's storied history. Some supporters have already taken to social media, with speculation about shirt numbers and midfield pairings, and Japanese flags have been spotted fluttering outside Celtic Park. Yet, until there's official confirmation, it remains the stuff of pub talk and forum threads. Still, it's hard not to feel the winds of change, or at least of ambition, blowing once again in the East End. Is HAYATO INAMURA the next boy to light up the Scottish Premiership? The rumor mill's turning, and all eyes are now fixed on Celtic to see if smoke becomes fire. Hello, fan. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.